Okay, where to begin? Access to the market is always probably the most vital for an artisan because you can, if you're prolific at creation, you love to create, you can create beautiful things, but if you're not able to make a living from it, then you can't continue to create to make a living.
Right.
So market is important, and in general, if you're an artist, you're working with your own capital, and your own capital can't do storefront on street level, which is very expensive in square footage. So you need to capture the opportunity to go somewhere that allows you to have an access to a large market. So
like the one of a kind.
The one of a kind, when I came aboard 18 years ago, it had been around for almost 15 years, perhaps, or 10. I'm not sure, for quite a while, and it had already a caliber, and we knew about it, and I was excited to apply and hopefully get in, because there were lots of people who would apply and wouldn't get in because the space was much smaller, and they only had, at the time of me coming aboard, 400 artists. Today there's 800, so in 18 years they've doubled their capacity. So there's a larger chance for more people in this kind of venue of life to get into the show. But having said that, it is a very costly venue. You need to be aware of whether people really love your work, and whether you already have to be successful in people wanting your work before you do the show. This is not a show to try to see if people like your work.
Yeah, you have to know.
Because you're spending a lot of money per square foot for your booth to have access to that.
Right.
So, that said, the question is, can you be an artist in our city making your work and not be in this show? Well, I did have 2 years. I decided not to do the show for certain reasons. And when I did that, I discovered that time is important, where people like to shop for Christmas, and they have built a strong market here. So the one of a kind, and then they also have monopolized the market by not letting artists have any other show 100 days before and 100 days after the show. So they've really stopped the opportunity for other shows like themselves to grow. So they basically became the big guy and didn't let any little guy grow. As a result, the market only comes to them, which on their level, that's a great business platform. On an artist level, we have to come to this show.
Of course.
And if you don't have access to a market. And you can do 3 shows in 1 week, which I did one of those years, and in that week, if the market is not so great, then you don't do well, and that can hurt you badly, because you've built 3 times the inventory for 3 shows in 1 week. So it's not like, to be an artist, to be an artisan, to be a creative being, your spirit has to go through your product. I believe great products have great integrity, great honesty, and great joy.
For sure.
But challenge is definitely there, and the success level of those that focus, you must love working, you must love creating, and honestly, you must love people. And you only live once, so why are we here? To celebrate what we are with other people of our own kind. And the one of a kind allows us to reach a lot of people we would never meet. So I would say that a show like this is vital to anybody who decides to do this style of career. It's very self-governing, but you need access to a market, and that's what comes here. There are days when our market comes, and there's days are not. When I say that, there is niches for all sorts of kinds of people that come to this show.
How do you think it compares to 401?
401 is a destination of another sort. It's a sort where businesses have established themselves in an environment that is friendly in that it's made of wood. It's in the center of the city. It's in a building that was built in about 1880. It's got a history. The landlord has a vision of a better world, a vision that community is important, and sharing and collecting together in one place, like-minded people, can make a building a special building, and that's what she has done. That's what our landlord has done. The Zeidler family has a vision, and that vision allows people, when they walk in our building, to feel the difference, because she's put that integrity in her product, which is the building, into not just the brick and the mortar and the wood, but the people that are housed in that. So that's a whole different kettle of fish. That's about energy, and it's about providing people of that sort of energy a place to continue in their endeavors to celebrate that in the world. That is not a marketplace at all. That is a home. More of a home for the heart. It's a good way to kind of classify 401. A home for the heart, for those that care about creating a greener and healthier and more joyous world. The heart's really important in our society. So one thing that's been lacking, we are now a society that looks at price rather than value. We are a society that we don't look at all the wonderful things we have. We look at the things we don't have. Well, if we look at the things we have and become grateful for them and see the abundance of our life, then we create more abundance. It may not be monetarily abundant, but spiritually, energetically, and that ripples through a happier life and reflects more people's lives. I had a very sad story recently where in our building, one of the tenants, wonderful human being, his partner did an awful thing and took his partnership away. And what's interesting is that really good people spread so much joy and make the world a good place. And then one person who's so greedy about money and narrow, and comes and steals it. And it's our whole community is like, wow, we don't like that. We're boycotting. I won't mention names, but negativity is something that our community, that's one thing about the 401, is it's a community of ideas and people who love connecting with each other. Now, having said that, do I know everyone in the building? No. I've been there one of the longest. There's a group of us that have been there a long time. We don't budge because we're happy where we are, and we can make a living. But we all doing our own thing in our different ways, and we're under a roof that is a good roof. And that's what 401. This roof is a roof of the marketplace, of the merchants, of the gatherers. It's almost like there's those that are empty, there's those that are rich. It's a variance that there's no finger on it, except that if you're here, you might meet. I sometimes say it's a funny analogy, but it's a good analogy, because if you're an artisan in this show and you're not having a good day, I often say to the people, if I go by, because I don't leave my booth much, but I feel that this is a river. These are rivers of currents of people, and there's different fish in the rivers. And some rivers have full of the fish that altogether of what you feed them. And some of the rivers of the fish are so different, and they're looking for others. So I see the people as fish of different sorts, attracted to different food sources of energy, and that is objects that connect to them. When you see it that way, then if you don't have a good day, you say, well, your fish didn't come by. If you have a great day, your clan came to see you, and you celebrate the energy together, the client and you, back and forth, because you're the same energy, and that's kind of fun. So I meet a lot of new people here.
That's good.
So that's all.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's perfect.